Hi, this is Michael Uslan. You're listening to Batman on Film.
I'm vengeance.
I have given a name to my pain.
The Batman.
Always waiting for some Batman to save you.
It's simple. We kill the Bat of Gotham. I'm Batman.
Welcome to episode number 108 of the Social Hour, a BatmanOnFilm.com podcast. I am the founder of Batman on Film, this here website. I am Bill Ramey. Do you know that, Pete, that I'm Bill Ramey?
I thought you were Jett.
Depends.
Depends on how salty you are.
Yeah.
And where do you rank right now on the Morton salt meter?
It's getting up there.
It's gonna be a fun one today.
It's getting up there, my friend.
All right.
Pete Verra, senior BOF contributor, makes an appearance on the Social Hour. When's the last time you've been on this show? Hasn't been that long.
I can't remember. It hasn't been that long.
But you've been on the Batman on Film airways of late.
I've been on what's it called? Batman Animation.
Yeah.
I did a episode with Hoss. We talked about a Harley Quinn episode. And recently I did also a chapter by chapter with Justin. We did one of the Joker scenes from '89 early on.
Yeah, you just did the you're a vicious bastard, Ratelli, and I'm glad you're dead.
I think I did the one before that. I think I did Joker.
Yeah. I stand corrected. That would be Ron Lauer who did that one. You did the one before that. Which one was that? I haven't been on
when
that
he kills Grissom.
Yes.
Wait
till they get load of me. Yes. Okay.
The infamous purple neck stain.
Well, let me go ahead and plug. If you are not, you haven't listened to our most recent podcast here at Batman on Film Central, called Chapter by Chapter, or Batman on Film Chapter by Chapter. We are currently on Batman 89, and we are what, 7 chapters in now? So
I think that's about right.
Yeah. So check those out. Those are pretty good. They're shows. They're short. They're 30, 40, 45 minutes. You can listen to it on your lunch break while you're at the gym.
They're good like that because they're quick, you know?
Yeah. They're not 3 or 4 hours.
I don't know how some guys can do. Because if you're recording a 3-hour podcast, it means you're on the mic for like 6.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Probably. So how fired up are you that spring training for baseball started?
I have been pumped since Super Bowl Sunday, because that's the turning point. Really, that's the change of the seasons, literally from football to baseball. I'm really excited. I can't wait. There's a lot of new toys to play with, and a lot of questions that have to be answered. But it's going to be a fun season, as Garrett would say. We had a nice little season.
What am I talking about here? The weekend after the Super Bowl is like the worst weekend of the year for me, because there's no football, and there's like no football on.
What do you do?
You know what? I watched the freaking XFL.
Oh, God,
just so I can watch football.
You and Paul Herman watching that XFL stuff. Oh, God.
I'll watch it just because it's football. I will.
Is it any good?
Not really.
Here's the thing, though.
Okay.
Like, if the quarterback can't throw the ball, you can't watch football. So
it's relative, you know, as far as the talent level. So I mean,
are there 2 spring leagues right now? Isn't the USFL back too?
The USFL starts soon. So yeah. I think there's a
no
place
spring
for.
league to two.
I think there's a place for one of them. I don't think there's a place for two. There's just not enough talent, to go around.
I believe that
Especially
it's
especially with quarterback and offensive linemen. There's
Did
some
you ever
guys.
get into arena ball?
I did watch it. Yeah, back in the day.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't. I mean, I watched it because it was football on in the spring. That was the only thing that was available at that time. I did go to. I went to a Dallas Desperados game one time. It's probably been 20 years. Back in the
I've
double
seen
A.
it on TV. I've never watched it in person. It seems like it's a very interesting sport to watch.
It is. It's just imagine being playing football on a space size of a basketball court or hockey rink.
I could imagine that.
You
Worked in the building, very similar. Yeah, I mean, I could see basketball court. I can't imagine it. I've been on the court and an NBA size court, and it seems pretty short to play football. Hockey rink, it's a little bit longer. I could see that, but that's still.
I think the dimensions.
I can't believe they have field goals.
Yeah, I mean,
they had field goals, and they had the nets on the side too. I remember that.
Yeah, yeah, it was there. It
was something.
It's still played somewhere, but I mean,
Yeah.
it had its run.
It did. I remember
AFL,
New
Arena
Jersey had a
Football
couple
League.
teams.
Yeah,
I think one was the Red Dogs, and then New York had the Dragons. I think.
Yeah.
Two teams here.
I mean, Kurt Warner. There's some guys that came out of the I said USFL, the Arena League. Kurt Warner was an Arena League player.
It's very few and far between those guys make it out. Because was it like technically is it Herschel Walker or USFL player, right? Like
he signed for the USFL. That was a whole different animal back then.
That was a different
beast.
beast.
Yeah,
but you got Kurt Warner and you got what's his name Maddox from the Steelers who played with an LA team in the XFL. So not many guys. And what was his Rod Smart? He Hate Me. Remember He Hate Me?
Yeah.
Not many guys make the jump from spring ball that you actually know their names, but
USFL back then when it came, the original incarnation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, their plan was to go compete directly with the NFL.
I remember. I think at one point, former President Trump was trying to either buy a team or he
owned the New Jersey Generals.
Okay, the New York. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he was involved.
That's who Herschel Walker played for. Signed out of Georgia with them. There were a lot of. I mean, Reggie White played for the USFL.
I didn't know. I did not know Reggie White. Okay, thank you. That's another one.
They had. There were. I mean, Jim Kelly, Steve Young.
Wow, all those guys came from the USFL.
They had some talent. Yeah, they had.
I don't think you'll ever see that spring ball. Like I don't mean, jeez.
I mean, it was pretty successful
these days.
And their downfall came when they went to the fall and went head to head with the NFL, and that didn't work out so well.
This is the 80s. I'm 86.
Yeah.
I was born in 86. So, oh man, I wonder.
Oh, this was 80. Right when I was getting out of high school. So 84, 85, 86, that era, that period of time.
That's interesting.
That was before that. Hey, that was before there were big time, big budget, big screen Batman movies.
Yeah. That's exact. Yes, that's back when guys who played for Nebraska basically wore crop tops. They used to wear the really short jersey. You could see the pads.
Yep. That was
80s football and Nebraska, like even 90s football. We talked about this before. It's like those schools. I miss those schools. Those are the big schools I miss.
Nebraska, Oklahoma. I was the old the Big Eight back in those days. Running the wishbone.
I remember what was his name? Eric Crouch. That was the last big name guy, I think, from Nebraska, right?
I suppose. That's a long time ago. They were powerhouse.
They were Ken Dorsey and Miami. I was going to say Dolphins, Hurricanes
back then. Yeah. Well, you want to talk some Batman on film?
I talk whatever. I mean, I thought we were just shooting the shit.
We are. I just want to know if you want to talk Batman on film or not.
I'm ready to talk about. I can always talk Batman on film.
There is a little news, which I would say
what you got?
not completely surprising,
Mhm.
but it kind of was like, already? But yeah, I guess so, kind of reaction. According to Production Weekly, The Batman Part 2 will begin filming in November of this year, 2023.
Doesn't it just feel like yesterday we were all together to watch this movie?
You know what? I was just thinking about that this morning, honestly. It's been it's been a year since I first saw the Batman. It's been what, next weekend, I think, will be the 1 year since we had the big watch party here.
Mm-hmm. It's gone
And
by fast.
yeah, what do I always say? Enjoy the ride, because it comes. I mean, you wait and you wait and you wait and you think it's never going to get here, and now we're sitting at, the Batman's it's been a year since the Batman.
And you know what? The Penguin might make it seem like it's going by even faster, because you're going right back into that world right before
Yeah.
you go into the next movie.
Yeah,
And this is going to be a little bit of a bat ride that we haven't experienced, having the spin-off streaming show, the companion show.
yeah,
That's great. And it's a little bit different. When you say enjoy the ride, with the first movie, it's like enjoy the ride because it's like new aesthetic, new costume, new car, new
Yeah.
city. Everything just looks different. The whole vibe is different. One director is totally different from the previous director, and that goes from like series to series. So like
Mhm.
it's fresh, it's new. You get to soak
Yeah.
it in for the first time. Now you're in this world. You kind of got an idea what you think you can expect, and then there's what Reeves is really going to deliver. There's a speculation because you've got something to chew on. 3 hours of the Batman, so it's like, oh man, to get back into this world with the Penguin first. It's it feels like yesterday. I do every time it feels like the first time. You're just, man, wow, I can't believe the Batman, and then it's like I turn around, I'm like, oh my god, the sequel's already here.
Let me ask you this question. What was your anticipation level for The Dark Knight?
Oh, Dark Knight. It was on a scale of like 10 being the max, like a 40. Dark
Okay.
Knight was unreal.
And you
for
felt
me.
like, and there was
I was
all
a sophomore, junior in college, so like
okay, so
great.
and then there was all the viral marketing and all that stuff that went with it, and you
Mhm.
probably felt like it's never going to get here. I can't wait till it get here. I wanted to get here, right?
Yes, oh yeah,
And it's been 15 years since then.
which is crazy.
So that's what I'm saying. We need to enjoy. To me, this is like, it's almost as fun as watching the movie, because the movie sometimes is anticlimactic because you've seen it, The
Mhm.
anticipation is so much fun. And with it filming now, we know it's going to be released on October 3rd of 2025. Another big scoop there from Batman on Film there, Pete.
Yeah.
When I said it, I said 2025. So see, big scoop. Batman on Film is a big scoop site, right?
Yeah. From what I hear, you've been
Yeah.
scooping for years.
Yeah, scoop left and right.
Like it's Baskin Robbins.
Yeah, let's call it Baskin and Robbins.
We should just call this Carvel on Film.
Yeah,
We're just scooping it out.
So we're, it's actually going to start filming about 2 years before the film is released, but the fact that it will be filming later this year, we're going to start hearing casting stuff before you know it.
Yeah. That's crazy because we're still getting casting for Penguin. It's and because they're very connected, obviously. So you're wondering, like, who is there any crossover? So I wonder if anyone who's going to get cast in the Reeves movie might pop up, or if anyone who has yet to be cast in Penguin will pop up in the Batman. Like,
I bet I would
to have these two things go
yeah.
simultaneously, like it's almost like sensory overload. Like,
yeah.
I can't even worry about the so-called issues going around the rest of the DCEU when I'm juggling Penguin and the Batman. Like, yesterday, Batman news, I'm like, oh, this is great. Like, I have something positive to focus on.
I mean, blow your mind. I know I know you check out Batman on film quite a bit. I
Yeah.
even got the old countdown going for the Batman Part 2.
It's always there. It's always there. Every movie.
Let's just give us an idea. We are at this moment on it is 9:20 a.m. as we record this Central Time, 10:20 Eastern where you're at. It is the 24th of February, 2023, and we are 951 days, 13 hours, 38 minutes, and right now 50 seconds from the Batman Part 2.
That countdown clock. I'm not going to look
And
at
you
it
look
'cause
at
it's
the
gonna make it seem
countdown
it's farther
clock
away.
and but The Dark Knight was 15 years ago, my friend.
Yeah,
Batman Begins was 18 years ago.
that's crazy. That's crazy.
So,
And
I mean, they were
after 30-some years, we're getting the return of a very special
and
Batman.
you're getting so that's we're going to get casting news. We'll get that will tell us at least unless they pull a Nolan. Nolan had sometimes. Well, you know what?
There was always a mysterious, like a
Reeves
fake
did pull
character
a
lying
Nolan.
around. Yeah,
He
a
did
decoy.
pull
That's a good one.
He pulled a Nolan for the Batman with Barry Keoghan.
Yeah. So yeah, there's always the decoy. I
Yeah.
want to call it. I was just said fake cast earlier, but the decoy. I like that decoy better. Which is cool because we know so much about how the movie's made, and by the time someone gets cast, everyone's already speculating. Usually, they tell you who it is. When they don't tell you who it is, you're kind of like, I wonder who it is. So it's just, I don't know. I appreciate the decoy and the fact that when they decoyed Barry, because I can't say his last name, that he was Merkel. I was like, I could see Merkel being in this movie. So Reeves did an A+ job there.
He was originally credited as Officer Stanley Merkel.
Yeah.
And I went, he's kind of he's too big of an actor.
Is he?
Play some small, small extended cameo role, which ends up being an extended cameo, but ain't no small role he was playing. So,
right.
Yeah. But for the most part, when they announced the casting for the Batman, it was just,
it's pretty straightforward.
It was straightforward. They told you who the main characters were, it
wasn't like a
Pattinson,
Raw
was
situation.
first, Pattinson and the rest, Jim Gordon, who was all, I mean, hell, Catwoman and
the woman who played Bella Real, she was always front and center too.
Yeah. That was a bigger role than you would have thought, the mayor of Gotham or Gotham mayoral candidate. So
she had quite a few scenes.
Yeah, sure we'll see her again. But yeah, going back to what you said with the Penguin, I would bet a year's salary in Monopoly money, of course, that there will be some individuals who will be in the Penguin will show up in the Batman Part 2.
Ooh.
Including Colin Farrell.
Oh,
he's almost, I think he will be in every film of this.
So are you saying Colin Farrell is our new Cillian Murphy?
He's speaking of Cillian Murphy.
Oppenheimer.
I'm gonna get on a tangent. I just finished Peaky Blinders.
Ooh.
Did you watch Peaky Blinders?
I did not, but people told me I would enjoy it.
It was good. Really good. Anyway, yes, I think he'll have a bigger role than Cillian Murphy did, because he was basically two cameos in Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises, essentially.
Yeah,
but he was in all of them. I think the Penguin will have Colin Farrell's Penguin will have a bigger role in.
That's great. I'd love to see it. I love Marazi.
Because Colin Farrell said, I only shot for a month, and I wasn't and all that much. He felt like he was in the entire film, though. The way he was.
Well, the film takes place a lot in the Iceberg Lounge. You know,
Yeah.
Ozzy's not always there. Sometimes it's about Mr. Falcone. But it takes place a lot in the Iceberg Lounge. His name's brought up quite a bit throughout the investigation. Selena works at the Iceberg Lounge, so it all kind of stems back to that's almost kind of like the main meeting hall of the film. You know, everyone gets taken down. The Riddler's house is across the street. You know, so it's kind of like you know, ground zero for that film.
I mean, sure, he didn't have as much screen time as Robert Pattinson, who was like in every freaking scene in the movie almost.
Right.
But,
I mean, we're following him.
But it wasn't like he was in one part of the movie and then you never saw him again. He was throughout the movie, you know? So, yeah. And the Penguin
even made it in the montage.
Yeah.
The closing montage.
The Penguin is about to start shooting in New York City. You going to try to go down there and check out if they shoot on location?
They're shooting on location in New York and New Jersey. Very likely I check out the New Jersey stuff. It's just a little bit more accessible.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with that. I do get like newsletters from like the New Jersey Film and Television Commission, so I'll see if they send anything about it. But it'd be interesting.
I wonder how much of that technology, they use that
that LED stuff.
that high def instead of green screen, high def.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I wonder how much they'll use. I know they filmed the Batman in the UK, but I mean with that stuff, it's almost like you just set up the screens and you've got it doesn't matter where you can create the set anywhere because you've got you know what I mean? It's
set and forget.
It's CGI and probably a blend of CGI and real stuff that's projected that they act in front of. So it doesn't. If you got the screen, you can
shoot anywhere.
Shoot it anywhere. And I wonder how much.
We'll
I wonder how much like from the Batman they'll use. Like the shot from Falcone's office. You saw that quite a bit. Overlooking Gotham and just the cityscape of Gotham and the skyline and whatnot. I'm sure they'll use some of the stuff they used in the Batman.
I'm sure. I mean, I couldn't tell what was quote unquote green screen or not. I thought they did a phenomenal job with this movie. So
they said it. They were talking about acting in front of it. It's way better than green screen because you have a feel for the environment. Yeah. That you're supposed to be in. So
I don't really care what they use to get it done, as long as they make a badass movie. To be brutally honest, like I was saying this on my show Straight Out Gotham long ago. I was like, I wish movies were still made like RoboCop in like 1987. Like that's pretty much just all practical effects and blah blah blah. But it's cool how they have developed this new I don't know what to call it. It's not green screen. This HD TV. This is like, what is this, like 12K?
It's essentially you're acting in front of a huge super high def screen, and that's the background. The background, you're in that background. You're in you can see, the actors can see it and whatnot, instead of green screen.
You also watch a game on that TV
there, yeah, I'm sure. It's kind of like acting in front of the big screens over at A&T Stadium.
Yeah.
In a way.
I'm sure the definition is much better though.
But yeah, we'll start getting casting news. It'll be interesting. And then people will start writing the movie in their mind once they know what actors.
Well, you've already told everyone it's Clayface, so
yes.
We're gonna get a giant mud monster like I have here. Because I know you're really excited about that.
It's not that Clayface.
I know you're excited about this mud monster.
It's the original Basil Karlo, Master Disguise, psycho former actor.
Would you say Boris Karloff?
Basil Karlo. Not Boris Karloff, not Frankenstein, sir. But yes, but you're right. I mean, we'll get the Penguin. It shoots. I think it's supposed to shoot until like November, so we'll go from that right into the Batman shooting, and while the Penguin.
That's why I think it's going to be the smoothest transition we've ever had. Because first of all, the first year's gone by really quickly, and then you're getting this spinoff show, which we've never gotten before. So, I mean, just ask all those crazy Star Wars fans how much they enjoy going from movies to Mandalorian to
Yeah.
whatever they're not. I mean, you could ask Eric, but those people complain about everything anyway. They're worse than DC fans. But, it's going to be like that. It's going to be real. I think it's going to be really smooth. Because first of all, it already has been.
I've never seen it. I don't have Disney Plus because there's nothing on there that I'm a huge fan of.
You would love what's it called? She-Hulk.
Look, I mean, I'm being honest here and being for real. There's just nothing. I got Netflix, I got, whatever. There's nothing on Disney Plus that I'm big enough fan of that I would need to have that.
To be brutally honest, if it wasn't for the MCU stuff, I wouldn't have it. And I don't even have it. I have somebody else's, like like I'm one of those bad people who shares a password. So, so I technically I don't even have it either.
I'm going to get to the MCU here shortly, but I'm going to finish up with this. So, yeah, we'll be covering, I'm just speaking of like Batman on film. We'll be covering the Penguin stuff. I'm sure there'll be more news come out, and
we got to do something cool for that, because I'm thinking like it's the first time we've done a show.
We'll get a trailer,
like a real show, not Gotham.
Yeah, there'll be a trailer. We'll get official publicity images for it. It's going to be fun, and then it'll drop. I think it'll come probably middle of next year, early to mid next year, I'm sure. So it's kind of like it'll be like the halfway point. And
don't forget, we also have Gotham Knights.
Well, I don't even know what that is. The video game?
No, the CW show, The Last Hurrah.
Enjoy. That's all I got.
Just say he's not grumpy. He wants you to enjoy it. Everyone enjoy it.
Everyone who watches, all 15 people who are going to watch that show. I can't believe that.
You're looking at one of them. I'm totally checking that show.
I can't believe that that thing didn't get canned.
I'm surprised it didn't, to be brutally honest. I'm sure it's a one and done, but I'm interested in that just because I'm like, what are you guys going to cook up? What's going on over there?
Yeah,
not as interested as I am in the Penguin, because I think the Penguin's going to be remarkable. But Gotham Knights is, they're interested for totally different reasons.
The Penguin's going to be quality TV. I mean, prestige TV. Probably feel like a movie.
I wonder
a series
if the Penguin is really like as good as we think it's going to be. I'm curious as the rewatchability about it, because when it comes to like an HBO show, that's very similar to like Penguin. Like you're looking like Sopranos, Boardwalk Empire, what was it? The Wire, right? Those kind of like criminal shows. I think The Wire was on it, but either way, like those shows have such a mass amount of rewatchability. Like I still watch Sopranos to this day, and it aired when I was like 10. So at all this time, I'm still rewatching and stuff. Like people still rewatching Boardwalk Empire and so on and so forth. Like these HBO shows have just a way of sticking with people, and I'm curious. Like there's still people who rewatch Peacemaker, even though it's a lower amount, a drastically lower amount. But like I'm curious. Like I'm wondering how this show will stick, because you could pop in a 1 hour episode and enjoy it, and man, you're all of a sudden you've binged 4 hours. You don't even know.
I think fans, and I'm saying this because I'm thinking about the way I'm thinking. Actually, is like because my anticipation level for the Batman Part 2 will be so great. I'll watch that over and over. I'll watch the Batman and then this back to back several times leading up to the Batman Part 2. I
mean, you could almost get through half a season of Penguin in the amount of time it takes you to watch the Batman.
Yes.
Think about that. That's
3 episodes basically.
Yeah.
Huh? Out of 8, almost half. Yeah.
Yeah. That's close.
Yeah.
And like I said, these HBO shows, they have a way of sticking with people. So I wonder, the Penguin being as grounded as it probably is going to be, I wonder if it'll have some weight to it and stick.
Oh,
I'm
I'm
very
sure.
curious.
I would bet money yes that
Hmm.
it will. One last thing about the Penguin. Scuttlebutt is all about that Robert Pattinson will pop up in the Penguin at some point. Not sure
That's
if he will be
phenomenal.
Batman or Bruce Wayne, but
Either way, that's great.
I've always figured he would. Just his enthusiasm for this world and Batman. Yeah, I mean
Mhm.
it takes place
I
right after the,
If
it
you
takes.
think about it, how would if you really want to draw people in, you tease Batman in the first episode, right? You get people talking about it. Everyone starts watching episode one, or do you wait for like the season finale and try to get your? It's a numbers poll either way, right?
I'm making it known that he is in it, but I'm not going to say when.
Fair enough. Okay, you got to catch up with us every
people,
week. See
yeah. Would you rather see him as Batman, or what if he's just Bruce Wayne hanging out at the Iceberg Lounge, being detective?
As whatever fits, however they wrote the story. Either way, yeah. If he's in it, that's great. I was fine just getting like Gordon and Bach, to be honest, like returning. Like if that's who popped up from the movie, like I was totally content with that because it seemed logical that the police would be involved, right?
Yeah.
The fact that Pattinson is going to be in this either as Bruce Wayne or as Batman, it's still a win-win. Like great.
Yeah. So you don't have a preference.
He's just trying to buy the Iceberg Lounge, like so be it.
I think. What do you think? You don't overdo Pattinson.
I think it's probably just a one-off. Like he's just in it.
I think you got to. I think it would be great.
Yeah, just a little something.
You want enough to make people want more, which will end up being, of course, part 2 of the Batman. So, but
which will probably end up being him making appearances both. Just like I don't know, it'll probably be like one episode, right? Like that's what I'm thinking. If they do it, if they max out, it'll be 2 quick like scenes as both were. I don't know. We'll see. Who cares? Just I would love to. I'd love to see it to talk about it.
Yeah. So I mean, we got the Falcone family is going to be in it. Sal Maroni.
Mm-hmm. This is going to be great.
Would you like for them to introduce Harvey Dent?
See, I feel like Harvey's got to come in to clean things up. So I think it's got to get a little dirtier. Like, I think once Penguin and like the so-called freaks of Gotham start taking over, I think that's when Harvey starts popping up to bring a more, impactful form of justice.
I hope DA Harvey Dent comes in and we don't get Two-Face for a while. As much as I love The Dark Knight, and it made sense in The Dark Knight. That was, I mean, the whole the arc, the character arc is really Harvey in The Dark Knight, as opposed to Batman or Bruce Wayne. But I just think you're going to use Two-Face again. You got to, and you do it different. We saw, maybe Harvey's introduced in the Penguin. Maybe he's in the Batman Part 2, and there's no Two-Face until
later I just
on.
feel like Harvey. I feel like Penguin's got to cause some havoc, and then Harvey's going to be kind of like motivated to then run for office. So halfway through Penguin season 1, so we're on episode 4 or 5. Let's say that's when Harvey starts getting involved. That's probably when Gotham's probably at its like breaking point, because I imagine there's going to be some sort of mafia confrontation, right? And then there's going to be some time to like establish law and order, right? I just the way the show should peak in Valley, right? Because then it's like it's got to be chaos again for the Batman, so it's got to come down before it goes up again. So we'll see. I mean, I don't know, but I don't work in Hollywood. But all I know is I'm very excited to get more Ozzy, and I would love to. I'm trying to think and this version of the Iceberg Lounge is interesting because we haven't seen too much of it. We've only kind of seen that one area with like the scaffolding and that stairwell where Batman's either like walking or kicking those guys' asses, and then you spend more time in 44 Below. So I'd love to just, I don't know, see more of the Iceberg Lounge because it didn't look like. I mean, it looks like New York. It just looks like some just nightclub in the middle of like the meat packing district.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure we are because it's.
Do
the
you
show-
need a giant iceberg in the Iceberg Lounge?
Of course.
Do you need? You do? Do you
Yeah.
want like seals in like a
Yes.
pool in the middle with seals and maybe a polar bear?
What's in? I want it to be exactly like what's in the comic books, and if it's not like that.
So that means you need an iceberg island off the shores
Okay.
of the city.
Yeah, that's it. He's gonna rebuild it. It's got to be comic book. He's got to move it from the meat packing district in Gotham. He got to move it out into a river or somewhere, and it's got to be a real iceberg, and there has to be
Must
like
be polar
Arctic
bears
animals
and penguin.
there. Yes. If it's not like that, then it's not legit. It's not valid.
Yeah. Let me ask you something else.
Yeah.
Reeves loves 66, and we know this.
Yes.
He incorporated a decent amount of 66 elements in his first movie.
Sure.
Is there anything you would like to see Reeves kind of take from 66 for the Batman 2 and put his spin on it? Is there anything you could think of?
Yes. Two things, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
The bat phone.
Okay. That's a good one. I'd like to see that as well.
And the bat poles.
Okay.
I want Robert Pattinson. I want that bookcase to slide and there be a pole there that says Bruce, and he slides down, and when he comes out, he's Batman at the bottom in the Batcave, and he doesn't have to carry it. See, and then that way he doesn't have to.
Well, you're
carry
actually getting the bookcase slide in the Flash, so you're getting that really soon.
Yeah. See, that way he doesn't have to carry the bat suit around in a duffel bag. He just slides. He just slides down that pole, and somehow when he gets to the bottom, it's Batman.
And it says Bruce. The pole has to say Bruce.
It has to say that. Yes.
It'll say Bruce and Alfred.
There was, speaking of the 66 stuff in the Batman, there was the Shakespeare.
Shakespeare, yes, Shakespeare was there.
The Shakespeare, that's not a statue. What do they call those?
Bust.
Yes.
Bust, yeah.
Yes. So
and
he
did the wall run, with the rope. He put his twist on that, and I enjoyed
that. In all seriousness, I like things like that. I don't want him literally picking up a red bat phone and going, "Yes, Commissioner," or
so you just want the red phone. The receiver doesn't have to have bat wings.
Yeah, it's just I like the little subtle things in the background. Like the Shakespeare bust and stuff.
It would be cool if, and I'm just fanning out here, but somehow Reeves contacted Gordon and Gordon's phone was just red. I would take that. That would be fine for me. However, Batman calls Gordon just has a red phone.
Yeah.
A red iPhone or something.
Okay. That'll work. For sure.
I like your suggestions though. I think I would love to see his take on that stuff. That's cool to me when a director takes something and just puts his spin on it. And it's like, oh, that's that. But
what? Maybe, and I'm just, maybe there is, he lives in that freaking penthouse and and there is, the Batcave is the old train area.
Yeah.
Train station area below it.
It's a long pole.
Maybe he slides like a fireman down there. He doesn't come out as Batman, but it's a quick way to get there.
He slides like the Batman Forever.
Yeah. So
yeah, I'd be down for that.
Whatever. Okay. Because I feel like I'm feel about the 60 series just like Reeves does. We're the same vintage, me and Matt Reeves. So his sensibilities are very close to mine.
I trust.
All right. So we got a lot of it. It's starting. The ball's starting to roll. Where we get casting, we'll have Penguin. We'll get the Penguin sometime next year, and then the publicity will start for the Batman Part 2, and it'll be here before you know it. Those 900 and some odd days will be gone blink of an eye. That's how it works.
Looking
Pete.
forward to it.
That's how it works. All right.
Looking forward to the watch party.
Yes, there will be. I may make a page for that now, or sometime soon. So let me ask you this. This is a hot take question.
Uh-oh.
You are a fan of the MCU, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Or do you,
I-
or would you say you enjoy it because it's superhero movies?
I enjoy superhero movies. Yeah.
So you're not like a diehard
No,
MCU fan.
I'm not
But a fan.
I'm not a connected person. It doesn't have to
And
connect
have you seen everything MCU?
up until Ant-Man.
You've not seen Ant-Man
No, I'm not.
3. Okay.
Correct.
That's the only thing.
Ant-Man and Wasp: Quantumania. I have not seen it.
Okay. All right. If agree or disagree, the MCU has ruined the way people watch superhero films, genre films.
Agree.
Okay. I do too. I think that.
Yeah. I think it's a lot about the post-credit scene and the big
okay, there you go.
5 years.
I posted that in the Facebook group and people were, I don't know if they totally got what I was saying, but yes, I think the MCU has negatively affected the way people watch these type of movies because it's almost about going to see what's next. I want to see the Easter eggs. I want to see the little nods to what's coming. I want to see the post-credit scenes. And I want to see what's coming next, as opposed to not enjoying the movie for just what the movie is.
So what you're saying is they make 2-hour commercials for the next big thing.
Look, I asked you if you were all caught up with the Marvel stuff because I haven't watched anything. I watched the last Avengers film and then I watched No Way Home. But I've always felt like as the MCU progressed, even in the early stages, that the overarching narrative and the hints and the to what's to come and the post-credit scenes were getting a little bit more and more as it progressed, but it didn't affect me negatively. But I did some research because, like I said, I haven't watched anything other than Spider-Man, the last Spider-Man film. But I see a criticism even from the Marvel fans saying it's gotten overdone with that stuff. That I think I posted an article I read. It was like, I'm a huge Marvel fan and I'm done with the MCU. Legitimate outlet, not a fan page or anything like that. Frankly, not anything not like a Batman on Film page, but something a little bit more mainstream genre website, legit outlet. But it was like, the criticism I've seen with this Ant-Man film is like, it's nothing more than setting up what's coming next, and that's been like an overriding theme in these films,
They're basically
and
set
then
up Kang.
Then you get to the point like you have to watch it. Like I liked that first Doctor Strange movie, and then the second one came out, and it was like, okay, I didn't watch frickin' what was it called? WandaVision. Like I said, I don't have Disney Plus, and then there are people like, yeah, it would probably help if you've seen WandaVision before you went and saw Doctor Strange. And I'm like, well,
so how far out of the loop? How far out of the loop were you for Doctor Strange? Did you have no idea what was really going on?
I didn't see Doctor Strange.
Okay, so you didn't even bother. Okay,
I didn't bother because
I'm actually curious to see what you would think because you haven't seen WandaVision.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be nice to know what someone who didn't see WandaVision and went into Doctor Strange and then say, well, I didn't get half the movie. See, that I think that would have been interesting. I'd love for you to actually watch Doctor Strange and tell me what you think. How much of that movie was impacted by not seeing WandaVision? I think that would be cool.
That's a good idea. Maybe I
Yeah.
need to, I don't know.
Because I actually think
I don't know
that,
how
like,
am I
that
gonna
Doctor
watch
Strange
it,
movie is
yeah.
really good, Bill.
Yeah.
It's the MCU hasn't made anything. It's like, it's actually kind of one of its kind when it comes to the MCU.
I mean, it
'cause the
would,
way
it
Ramey did
seems
it, but-
this, just reading it, it kind of seems like it's up my alley because I like
Yeah.
alternate reality, time travel. I mean, all that kind of stuff, you know?
I think you would
Uh,
dig it, but
And I did
not
like
seeing
the,
WandaVision. I wonder how much you'd be lost.
I did like, but I mean, that's like, I really, my um desire for MCU films is really, I'm not interested that much in it anymore. It's just gotten,
Well,
and
they've
I'm a,
also gotten
and
to
I'm
a
a,
point
yeah,
where they started this thing with kind of lower tier characters. They didn't have Spider-Man, the X-Men, right?
yeah,
So they started with Thor, Iron Man, and Captain America, and the Hulk. But now, like, Iron Man is dead. Captain America is, spending retirement very nicely. Thor's kind of a joke. Hulk can't be used. They're in a weird like transition period. Apparently Spider-Man's coming back for a fourth movie. They have the script. They have an idea of what they're doing. They're writing the script. Black Panther unfortunately passed. So and that's a transition itself. Like they're in a weird, I think, transition period with the title characters. It's almost kind of like they're delaying the X-Men until they need them desperately to gain the audience back, because that's, in my opinion, their next big thing.
So the novelty is worn off, would you say? The novelty of the shared universe and the Easter eggs and the overarching storyline and the post-credit scenes. It's not,
Maybe it's like
it's
one
not as novel as it
giant
once
entity,
was.
but like I think Easter eggs are fine. Like as long as it doesn't have to be just over the top. Like you can have an Easter egg and it's totally fine, and I can live with it. A cameo is great, but I don't need like excessive cameos. Like as much as I love like Spider-Man Homecoming, it sucks that Iron Man's in the movie so much.
Yeah.
But I still love the movie. But in my opinion, it's like, I mean, I've always said this, like, I don't buy like issues of Action Comics hoping to see the Flash pop up.
Yeah.
Like the only time I kind of hope these characters interact is in the pages of a Justice League book. Like,
Yeah. If you want that, go read that.
yeah. And don't get me wrong, like every once in a while,
Again,
like Zdarsky just did Batman, where we just had the entire Justice League in basically his story in the first arc. So like it does happen. I get it. I just don't need it to happen every issue or every movie. But what can I say? Like they've done this for 20 years, and it's actually started to slow down after 20 years. Like they've been an unstoppable juggernaut.
Yeah.
You knew it was going to happen, and it just kind of makes sense. It's run its course. Well, we say that now until Spider-Man comes back and it makes another $1 billion every film.
I'll go see another Spider-Man film. My hope is that it is the way the last one ended, because I'm not a big fan of this MCU Spider-Man. I didn't like the Tony Stark and giving him everything in this suit.
It's a take.
I like friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. You kind of set that up with the way the last one ended.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope that the next movie is like a true Spider-Man film.
We'll see.
Without Avengers and all this coming in. But going back to my point,
Spider-Man show, but
I think I think people were like, I was out of my mind when I posted that and went, I think the MCU is effed up the way people watch these films,
the problem with
what
posting on the
they want to
internet
see
is that people take your words exactly as how they're written, as opposed to like podcast format where you can expand a little upon your thoughts. Like you write something and people are like, well, that's how he read it. It's like there's the things that get lost, like context and such. But yeah, like I kind of get both sides. But people, I mean, if you listen again, this is the key. If you listen to the Batman on Film podcast, if you read various Batman on Film articles, then I can read after. Well, and here's the thing: I've been reading you for 20 some years, Bill. I can.
You speak Jett.
I know your tone. Like I know how to read and talk Jett. In a way, I've been doing it for so long.
Yeah.
Like when I read an article, I can hear your voice. Like I know how you're speaking to me, and that's just from the podcast has actually helped more than anything because I'm listening to you. But that's what we keep saying. Like you got to read and pay attention to film.
By saying that, it's not saying that the MCU wasn't successful, that would be an idiotic statement because it's been super successful, hugely successful. It's that I think they have skewed and messed up the way people watch these type of films. And you see this right now. It really became evident to me when people say, I'm not going to go watch The Flash because it doesn't lead to anything. I'm not going to go watch
Well, I don't get that
any of the DC films that are coming this year because it doesn't lead to anything. It doesn't go anywhere. There's not going to be, they have.
it leads to the end of that movie. What are you talking about? Just watch the film.
That's my point. Go watch the film for the film itself.
It'll lead to a sequel if you watch it and it's a successful movie.
It's, when I posted that, it was like, so you go see.
I just think people are very spoiled. Not people, but fans are very spoiled now. Like, I mean, you had it rougher than I did. I mean, I grew up on a time where all I had was, the Batman franchise and, Reeves Superman movies. Like, there were few and far between. And now it seems like there's one every couple months plus a TV show. Like, but Disney has said they're cutting down on the way they release stuff on Disney Plus. They think they did a little bit of oversaturation. That's coming from the juggernaut itself. So, there is something to be said about people craving this stuff and wanting it. And, but, the MCU also changed the way Hollywood makes movies. Everyone makes movies like they do. Everyone makes a movie that's connected to something that has a post-credit scene, that has a mid-credit scene.
And
like they've changed the industry.
Is that a good or bad thing? I think it's a bad thing.
I think it's a negative. I think it's a trend that'll happen at some point. At some point, we will get back to like the era of like 80s action heroes like Stallone and Schwarzenegger. But right now, we're in this like era of like comic booky superhero movies, and it's just the way Hollywood will go. It's a trend that'll last for a little bit, and when it doesn't, it'll end up going the way of the Western and have its fans. But it'll cycle around at some point. Someone asked was in response. So you went and saw the Batman and you weren't hoping it leads to a sequel. I went, no, absolutely. If it was good, I want a sequel to the Batman, but I went to see the Batman to see the Batman. I didn't go to see hoping. I didn't go in hoping, I hope there's a, hope there's 2 or 3 spin-off show on HBO Max and all that stuff. I went to see the Batman for the Batman. So, but I think that's how I go approach all these. Even the Marvel movies, I try to approach it that way, but I can't help it because it's like I go see it, but then there's this cameo, there's that cameo, everyone's all over the place. So, and sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. Like even in things where I think I like it and I think it works out, like Daredevil and She-Hulk. Like, was it 100% necessary? Not really, but I guess when you're that big of a universe, you can kind of pull from different areas if the story warrants it.
Look, I know a lot of I'm a fan, but I realize that I'm in a bubble when it comes to a lot of things like this, right? And so I don't get offended when a Scorsese or another, a director, let's see, what's his name? Kill Bill.
Tarantino,
says, I wouldn't do a Marvel film. I wouldn't do an MCU film. That's not real film. I get the criticism. They don't want to come in there and play. They want to make their film. They don't want to go in there and have a deal with an overarching narrative and producer-driven storylines and play in that sandbox. So that doesn't mean that people don't like the films. It just I'm not gonna shit on a director for being honest and saying no. I wouldn't do that. I don't think that stuff is all that not my interest. I wouldn't want to do that. I have no problem with that.
Yeah, I mean, guys like Tarantino don't want to be controlled, and it seems like when you go into the MCU, it can be somewhat of a controlling environment. But then, you look at someone like Ryan Coogler, who's able to do what he wants on Black Panther. So it depends. I guess on the actor, on the director. I wonder how much John
If you make
Favreau,
you make an MCU film, you have to concede a certain
there's
amount
certain
of
things, yeah.
creativity.
Like I wonder how much
Because
creativity John Favreau was like hindered between Iron Man films, because at one point, Iron Man happened before the MCU, technically, right? Like
yeah,
before it
yeah.
exploded, before the Disney purchase. Iron Man 2 is different, right? Because that's kind of more of like a Feige thing than anything else. And then I wonder, and then someone like what's his name? Sam Raimi.
Mhm.
He seemed to do really well with adding
My
his
cousin.
sense
Did
of
you know that?
horror.
We're cousins.
Well, that's why you're a big Spider-Man fan.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
he was able to stretch his horror elements in that movie, but
Mhm.
still play within the MCU sandbox. Like those two work really well. So I wonder what it was like. And then you got people like the Russos, who I think are complete hacks that can't do anything without Feige. So
Well,
I think
see,
it caters itself to some people better than others.
it's you mentioned Sam Raimi and then Doctor Strange, the last one. That's true. He injected some of his uh, creative
Yeah,
sensibility into that
there's a
film.
lot of it in there.
But you had me, a fan of the superhero movie genre, who liked the first one, didn't go see it because
You're afraid you're gonna
there's
get
a lot
lost.
of stuff in there from Wanda TV or WandaVision, and there's
You should watch it, and
a
then
lot
the
of
next time we
setup
do a
stuff.
show, let me know how
How
lost
am I
you
going
were.
to watch it? I don't have Disney Plus. Where's it? Is it on
I'm
anything
gonna go to
else?
Walmart and buy it on DVD.
I don't know if I don't have a DVD player anymore. Maybe I do. I got
You, you,
PlayStation still.
you got a PlayStation. Your PlayStation can do it.
Yeah.
Talk. You talk to you got the general and the lineman. They'll figure it out.
Okay. That's a good idea. Let me watch that and then.
Yeah,
But
I think it'll be a fascinating experiment because, like you
yeah,
said, you haven't seen WandaVision. That's a big part of that movie. But then you have Sam Raimi doing his own thing simultaneously.
yeah,
I think it'd be a fascinating experiment.
I will do that. We'll come back and discuss on the social hour. How about
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. So
Look
I'm
at that.
not. So we're kind of on the same wavelength as far as that topic. We think that I think maybe I think that the MCU has the negative impact is a little more substantial than than you do, and
I'm
I'm
also
certainly
curious.
I'm not saying people are like they've been super successful. What are you talking about? I said that's not my point, my friend. My point is, I mean, like I said, I mean, prime example. I'm not going to go see the Flash because it doesn't lead to anything. There's nothing coming after. There's nothing, and that's people have
I don't know. What if you go
because
see
of
the
the MCU,
Flash?
they go see the film, go see Flash for
All
the
I'm saying is,
Flash.
if you don't go see the Flash, you're not going to support it. You're not going to make money. Then Warner Brothers is going to think no one likes it. Maybe we don't get a Batman Beyond movie. What if you support it and you go see it? It makes a
Yeah.
ton of money, and all of a sudden they're like, "Hey, people love Keaton's Batman. Maybe we
Well,
should make Batman Beyond." Like, I don't know.
there's
Like,
also
anything
there's
can
also
happen.
there's also the fact that 99% of these people who are saying I'm not going to go see the Flash because what's not
A little full of shit anyway.
because of it ends the DCU and blah blah blah. They're all going to go. They're going to go see it. They're going to see it several times. So
DC Comics is rebooting itself in like next month again. The dawn of DC. Like, they do this every time. If anything, this is more comic book accurate than Marvel.
I mean, that's the thing.
I
Continuity.
went to the New 52, DC Rebirth, Infinite Frontier, Dawn of
Well,
DC. They've
go back
rebooted the
to-
comic line 4 years. That's just
I mean,
recently.
Go back
This is
to
accurate.
Crisis on Infinite Earths and Zero
Yeah.
Hour and all that. I
Oh
mean,
my God. Final, yeah, like it's Flashpoint. Like, if anything, this is very comic book accurate. You're not you don't get more comic book accurate than what the Flash is going to give you. I'm sorry.
You know
You're gonna get
where
two different
you-
Batmans, different timelines, and a whole new character in Supergirl. That's the most
Yeah.
comic book accurate thing you've ever seen.
you know where you don't have to worry about that stuff? Elseworlds.
Yeah,
Black
but
Label.
see,
What's
where
the
we
best stuff
differ,
DC?
Where we differ, you and I,
Yeah.
is I'm very interested to see what they do with this shared universe Batman. Because if the MCU's run its course and they're just starting up, that's not going to bode well either, unless these movies are fire. If
Yes,
people are getting
correct.
tired of the MCU and all of a sudden DC's like, here's our MCU carbon copy.
Well, that's again, that brings up another point is
You had your
even
shot in 2016 and you blew it. It might be time to think about other things, but
even with the shared universe DCU stuff, if you do it like the MCU, yeah, you're right. That's tired. It's done. It's
you're
what
doing
someone else
something that everyone's already fed up with.
Yes,
The
you've
trend
done
is
you've
over,
done
kind of.
something that someone else has already done and done it successfully, and it's starting to wane just a little bit.
See, now the case is with DC is you're banking on, you're going with your A-list characters in this reboot, whereas Marvel's kind of teetering on, we're waiting on the X-Men, we have Spider-Man and the Eternals, we have a new Captain America, but like DC's like, we're going to come at you with our A-listers. We're going Superman, Batman to start off. Maybe that's the difference. We'll see, but
So
Superman
let me
hasn't been a
ask you
draw.
this. Superman is first. Superman Legacy.
Oh, that's so rough.
Okay.
I don't know how to judge Superman movies anymore, man. I just
Let
don't.
me ask you this. That Superman movie performs about the same as Man of Steel and Superman Returns. Not good.
It's not good, but then the next movie's Batman, so I think that they're gonna like that's our safety net. But if the Superman movie fares as good as Man of Steel and Superman Returns, it's probably the last Superman movie you see for like 30 years.
I just think there's so much riding on that because I'm of the opinion, let me say that, and let me clarify that Superman, as iconic as the character is, just does not appeal to the general audience in a huge, overwhelming manner.
Which snakes. You might be right. You might be right.
There was no reason for Man of Steel not to do better.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah.
Because I mean, look, I'm one of the ones who defends the movie. I know it got reviewed poorly.
I think it's great.
And whatnot, but it had a decent cinema score. I don't think it was like
good.
I don't think it was B, but I mean, I got a few criticisms of it, and you had, I mean, it wasn't like they weren't secret about having Nolan's name attached to it. He's coming off the Dark Knight trilogy.
The producer,
he was part of the he was a producer, co-wrote the story, was front and center when it came to, I mean, they were like they were presenting it as a Chris Nolan film. It was almost, and it still wasn't all that, it didn't perform as like they thought they had a $1 billion film with that. They really did. I defend it, but
yeah, I'm shocked myself.
Garrett Greff, shout out to Garrett. Garrett loves
Kirk
Superman,
Cousin, yeah.
And we talked about that briefly, and I was like, he said, if it doesn't, I mean, this really has to be a knock your socks off blockbuster success. I really think
it's got to be. That's what I said. If this isn't that, then they're just saying, all right, we're relying on Batman. That's the next movie because it's Batman, and then we're really going to get a test to see if he shakes his bat moneymaker. Because if he comes off that bomb of a Superman movie, if it does,
yeah.
But if it does bomb, like I don't think you see Superman for 30 years. Because that's it. Like I think you throw your hands up and say it works on TV for some reason. It's not working on the big screen. We're just gonna sit back on it for a while, and it sucks because then like how do you have a shared universe of freaking Superman, and then unless he turns into the Hulk
and TV, it's because you can make stuff less expensive, and there's a audience for that stuff. And it doesn't have, let's be honest. Smallville was a niche show on a small network, but had a loyal audience, so it was a success, relatively speaking. Same for this Superman and Lois. But there's something with Superman. I mean, people have Superman tattoos. They wear Superman shirts. T-shirts and stuff.
I mean,
He's
how
a
many times you
iconic
go on the road,
character.
you got the sticker of somebody his back windshield. You know,
Yeah.
the logo's everywhere. So,
And Garrett, as I bring up Garrett again, he was like, I asked him the same question. We talked about this, and he said it would just tell me that Superman is more of an icon, just the iconography of it, as opposed to people being interested in seeing him in a film. And I don't know
that's
what
weird. It doesn't translate to me. That's weird how it doesn't translate.
That's because we're in our bubble, Pete. We love Superman. We'll go see Superman movies.
I'm looking at it. I got a box full of Superman comics right here.
I mean, I can't fathom anyone not.
There you go. I just pulled one out. They're everywhere.
So, yeah. All right. Good conversation. Right?
I had a good time. I enjoyed it. You're not going to block me on Twitter, are you?
No, I'm not. I'm not like him. I know that I'm just thankful that you're still with Batman on Film, despite the fact that I'm a colossal disappointment.
I enjoy your company.
Thank you. Because apparently I'm colossally disappointing people left and right in this world.
I'm happy that I get to call you my friend.
That made my day.
That's funny.
That made my day. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. You gonna plug something?
You sound like Elvis there.
I didn't do my Elvis voice.
You sound like it.
Be like Austin Butler and stuck in that voice.
There you go.
Did you go see Elvis? Have you seen Elvis yet? Because I
have not seen Elvis.
That was a mandate. You're making me go see Doctor Strange too. You need to watch Elvis. You got HBO Max?
I do, of course I do.
Put that sumbitch on and watch it.
All right, I'll watch Elvis. How long is it? 2 hours?
2:45, something like that.
2:45. I had a feeling it was gonna be 3 hours. All right.
You sit through a damn 3-hour superhero movie.
I mean,
it's kind of a superhero movie. I'm
not a huge Elvis guy. I mean, I like Elvis, but nothing compared to you.
Maybe it'll enlighten you more about it. Elvis, he's OG comic book.
I know he's Captain Marvel Jr. fan.
Yeah, Captain Marvel Jr.
Oh,
ain't
nothing but a hound dog.
My favorite, my favorite comic book hero. Fly the rock of eternity, speed of light.
Rock of eternity. Wow, okay.
It's.
Right.
I mean, I'm telling you, and I'm not. Right. Yes. Elvis is kind of sort of a comic book superhero movie.
Right.
Promise. Okay. And if you watch it and you tell me I'm full of shit, I'll write you a check for $1,000 in Monopoly money. Fair?
I would rather get a year's free subscription to Batman on Film.
That'd be okay. Let's go.
Yeah.
One year. No, how about this? Lifetime free subscription to Batman.
Lifetime free. That means you can't retire.
Yeah.
Are you ready to make that bet?
I didn't think about that part.
I'll do it for the BOFers out there.
I didn't think about that part. Yeah. Okay. A bet's a bet. Okay.
All right, here we go. That's it. I just saved Batman on Film forever. Anyway, you can follow me on social media. That's Twitter, Instagram, Mastodon, and Zack Snyder's favorite social media platform, Verra, at Pete Illustrated. If you like Hasbulla, check out my Instagram account. I have the largest Hasbulla fan page out of the state of New Jersey. If you like superhero podcasts, check out straight_O_G, Straight Outta Gotham. That's a news-based podcast that I co-host with the champion of Long Island, Eric Holzman. I also do the Italian Spider-Man Coalition podcast with Nicholas and Nico Caruso. That's Italians for Spidey on Twitter. Check out. We haven't done an episode in a while because scheduling has been really rough. I work a lot of weekends, and they're normal people, so they have a life. Check out at Team Yellow Oval. That's fun with Keaton popping up in the Flash, doing a lot of fun stuff on Twitter. Check out what else I got. I'm on BatmanOnFilm.com and Batman on Film YouTube. I've got toy reviews and interviews on both. I've got comic reviews on Batman on Film proper, and it's summertime's coming around soon, so make sure you check out my music playlist. I did for like was it like the top inspired by songs from Batman movies. So that's gonna be fun. It's always fun to check out during the summer, and because barbecue season's around the corner, and you need to listen to something while you're grilling that burger.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Well,
what do you got? You got a couple things? You got a couple projects?
All I got, batman-on-film.com. Just go there. You can find everything, social media. You can find ways to support Batman on Film. But just go. And I always, as I say, go and read the site and support the stuff that these guys do. Not me particularly, but yeah, we have comic book reviews and other things. I got Straight Outta Gotham podcast can be found there.
Batman Book Club,
Lauer's show can be found there. Yeah, there's all kind of stuff that can be found there. And I will guarantee you the best coverage on the net of the Penguin and the Batman Part 2 will be found on Batman on Film. Period.
I don't think that's ever up for question.
Period. And we won't spoil
we may even cover Gotham Knights. You never know. We may have some special reviews coming. I don't know.
That's not going to happen. We'll see.
Someone forgets we talked. There was a recap show for Gotham going around.
There was at one time.
At one point.
Are you back on the Detective Comics wagon?
I'm reading it. I'm reviewing it for the site, but I know that I have not purchased an issue. I'm not. No, I'm not enjoying it. No, it's not my.
Are you reading Batman?
I am. I think it's better. I'm still not enjoying it.
You like the Batman of Gotham storyline?
Batman of Gotham.
That's the new storyline.
There's a new Zdarsky story.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's better. I'm still not really enjoying it. I just kind of feel I'm tired. I feel like we've done this before, and I'm a little just kind of tired of it. So we'll see. I want to see where it goes. But I'm
real
not
quick.
Really...
I've been like, I quit Batman for a while there at the end of the last creative team.
Tom King. Was it Tom King?
After Tom King.
Oh, Tynan.
Probably, yeah. And then I jumped back on with Zdarsky. I wasn't a huge fan of what was that? Failsafe. I wasn't a huge fan of that art.
Did not enjoy that either.
And then I thought it's going to be another, Bruce Wayne is dead, and they're going to have a temporary Batman and all this. But it was something that I wasn't expecting at all. Okay. Which I quite enjoy because it took Bruce Wayne back to his his roots and his, so that's what's going on right now. So I'm enjoying the Batman of Gotham storyline.
Actually enjoying the most right now is Batgirls and the Joker, the man who the Joker book that's out right now. That's very good. In terms of Batman, that's probably like my favorite. And the Batman Joker Deadly Duo. Those are like my 3 favorite books at the moment.
That's a good one. The Deadly Duo.
Yeah, I think it's very. Me and Lauer are very high on it. Very high on it. You know what you would like?
Is that a Black Label thing? Or is
maybe.
Is it in continuity?
It's not in continuity. It's its own thing. I think you would like Gotham City Year One.
I'm liking that. Yeah, I like
that's good. That Slam Bradley story is very good.
Yeah. Martin Scorsese.
Deadly Duo is Black Label.
Yeah, Martin Scorsese is going to do a Slam Bradley Elseworlds film for Warner Brothers and DC Studios.
I think that would be amazing. I really do.
Yeah,
I think it would be incredible if he did it. If he actually did it, because that's probably the only the DC character because he's not a superhero. It's Slam Bradley.
Yeah,
I think it would be fantastic. He'd be remaking Chinatown.
Let's go. All right. So that's all I got. Go check out Batman on Film for all that stuff. Announcer Rachel will take us out. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you next time.
Thanks for listening to the BOF Social Hour, Jett's official vlog and podcast on Batman on Film. Follow Jett on Twitter @BatmanOnFilm. Follow the BOF newsfeed on Twitter @TheBatmanOnFilm. For Jett and everyone at BOF, I'm announcer Rachel. Authoritative, definitive, the original, Batman on Film, established in 1998.